Hi guys, we're back. And it is January, the 25th day in the year 2017, I think. And Ya's going to talk about the Revelation.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Revelation 5. Very interesting because it's all sort of all over the place when you're reading Revelation. There's also DS in Revelation, which is a book of shame, really.
Yes.
And so look what happened, look what the people are doing, blah, blah, blah. Now, basically, if you look at 5, it's the elders talking, but one elder in particular, and it's sort of lamenting that there's no one who can open the book. And the book, the scroll, is written on two sides. So there's what's happened on the inside, there's what's happened on the outside. So you could say, well, the inside was written first, and you can't read that. And the outside is written because it's also rolled up, and you can see a little bit of it. So then another angel, another elder, says, yes, there is one that can.
That
so
it's worthy to open.
It's worthy to open.
Yes.
So before, it's saying we can't find anyone who was already dead
on
in the sea.
Earth or in the sea.
On the earth.
In heaven.
In the sea means in dead. So they've all been resurrected back up. Because now they're in the sea and they're resurrected for judgment. And the elders don't quite understand it because they don't know it. And then you've got the one that will say, yes, there is some. And they go, who? And it says, well, it is the root and the offspring of David. And therefore, he is the lion, Leo, Leonard, of the tribe of Judah. So therefore, someone has been born suddenly of the tribe of Judah, the true line of kings, which of course is the Galati line through the Irish line, down to the Scottish line, down to also the English line, down to Australia and my mother. So he is the one that works it all out, and it's going to teach you all things. That's what the Comforter does. So he is also God, because if you read it, you'll find that he is also now sitting on the throne in heaven. Right? So the throne in heaven and on the earth is what my title is. My throne is in heaven and I'm also on the earth. Right? So remember, it's a circle. So who is it that can tell the other elders that there is this one that can open the book? And of course it is Enoch. Now Enoch is the one that didn't die and was taken up. And he was shown all about what's going on. Now in the book of Revelation 17, that's an interesting book as well, because it goes through to the point where you've got the 17:1 through to 17:11, and it's talking about basically the time of the popes of Vatican, because there's been 7 kings. They're all kings. When you're a monarch and in the kingdom of Vatican, it was become a kingdom when it was handed over by Italy to be run by itself as a little nation.
Vatican State.
And so it's the one that is nothing to do with the EU, for example. So the Jews are all hovering around. They have now taken over, and they've placed Francis, who was not a sacerdotal pope, priest, and you can't be a pope. So therefore we have the one that is the 7th, that he goes into perdition. Now, perdition means a loss. He goes into, he's still there, he's still in the Vatican, but he's at a loss. He has lost his kingdom because it's been taken over by the Jesuits, that is the Black Pope and Francis. So it is a superficial, although he is under the power. From my point of view, he's still Pope, and I told him that.
This is Benedict XVI.
And when I was telling Pope this, when he comes back, right, that is because he will no longer be in perdition, he will no longer be lost or at a loss, and Francis will be taken out. So he's the seventh, will become the eighth. So you find that in Revelation 17, 11, 12, that area. We'll bring it there. So we've got Enoch, who is the one who knows everything. He was shown the heavens. He didn't die, and therefore he's rather special. What age was he when he ascended? 365. So there again takes you to the base of the pyramid, 365.24. So it's a solar year. Now, just to mention that the pyramid, of course, was built by the descendants of Enoch, and that's where the 365 number comes in. And this is before the flood, and the solar year at that time was 360 days, not 365.2424, which is 100 years. 365.24.24 is the base of the pyramid. That's 100 years. One pyramid equals a day. So we have then Trump, right? So here's the trumpet. And that is why we told Trump to run for president he would have got it and probably read it several times on his birthday, on the 14th of June 2012, which is a year before, or half a year before the Pope recognised me, 9 months before the Pope recognised me. So, and I said, well, you'll do this and then I'll be behind you, don't worry about it, just get on with it. He's safe and protected, and he will do what has to be done. Well, he is doing what the very first thing I wanted done was to get rid of ISIS, right? Because immediately, first day, got Mad Dog goes in there, and he's been brought back out of retirement to do it because he's a very, very well-learned, educated man, and he knows all about what's going on. So they went straight in. I watched a video yesterday, and what they was doing, there was maybe 100 trucks fleeing, and the Americans overtook them, and Mad Dog, he said there'd be no one left alive. He says, not because that they are ruthless in their way. Usually when you're in an army, you make them surrender and then you take prisoners. In this case, I didn't want prisoners taken. I want them all killed, because save me doing it. But basically, the idea is that these people are so insane, and the things that they have done, beheading children, for example, once they started doing that, they're no longer just an army that's trying to overtake a particular political system in Syria. And Syria, by the way, I know a high priest from Syria, and we sat down in 1997 and we talked about, and he told me that what was going to come in Syria because of the reading of the Aramaic, and we compared it to the concordance numbers, and we sat there, and he was a friend of the father of the present
Bashir al-Assad.
Yeah.
Senior.
And I said, well, what's he like? He said, well, he's an Elohist. And I said, yeah, all right. And an Elohist was a believer in Jesus, and knew that Jesus was coming and so forth. And they are sort of a higher intelligent level of the average Muslim, because the Muslims are all taken up by the Quran and they're sucked in by that. Now
that being said, many Muslims, because they do read the Quran, they are still expecting Jesus to return. Isa, they call him.
Isa.
When we were in Egypt for our 10 weeks, we had no problem telling the ones who found out that this is Isa. And it confirmed to them, well, we were expecting him, so it wasn't a shock, unlike the Christian world, which is shocked and then reject because they have been devoured by the script that has been manipulated. Now, specifically, because we said that we would answer this, we'll read Revelation 17. Rez had a specific question for Yah regarding Revelation 16, verses 17 through 21. So we'll just read that, and it's pretty easy. Rez Yah just dispels everything very plainly. Also reiterating that the Essene revelation is not as cryptic. And it simply talks about this darkness too shall pass away. And when you're reading of it, you can see how they describe certain beasts, and you absolutely know that one of the beasts that is described are the oil corporations and the beasts in the sea that rise up. And going back, we watched the movie about what happened on the oil rig in the Gulf of Mexico in 2010. Now, just reading, this is Revelation 16 from verse 17 through to 21. And the seventh angel poured out his vial into the air. And there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven from the throne, saying, "It is done." And there were voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake, such as was not seen. Men were upon the earth, so mighty an earthquake and so great.
Well, that is, the earthquake is another way of saying that all the religions suddenly wake up. And the earthquake is the people themselves. Well, we talk about islands, we talk about mountains, Mount Olives, for example. These are people. So the people suddenly have the word of God falling like tons of gold falling from heaven.
Or like hailstones.
Hailstones.
Yeah. Now a hailstone's going to take out the evil ones. So the ones that are evil hate it. They can't stand it. They try to run and hide.
Well, that's right. They've been covering up God all the way along because these Jews are behind it all. It's a Babylonian thing.
Let me continue to read this. And earthquakes are great. So think in the spiritual realm, this great shaking that's been happening on the earth where people are awakening to the truth. And the great city was divided into three parts. That is Jerusalem, is it not? It's already been divided into your three parts. Christian, Muslim, and Jews. And the cities of the nations fell. I want you to think about the words that Donald Trump spoke after he said that radical Islam would be wiped off the face of the earth. And then he also said, "I make a decree." And he talked about what would be heard throughout every city of the nations upon the earth who were listening intently to his words. It's like, read my lips, hear the trumpet blowing. And he told them very plainly that no longer would he literally be playing the game of the NWO. That's what it boils down to. So go back and re-listen to those words. That was a declaration gone out in the realm of the ether, the spirit, if you like, and it was like a shot rang out all around the world. And the great city was divided in three, and the cities of the nations fell, and great Babylon, these are the Jews, the Pharisees, the Jews, the mystery Babylon, came in remembrance before God to give unto her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. And every island fled away, and the mountains were not found. Talking about peoples. And there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven, every stone about the weight of a talent, and men blasphemed. How many have been blaspheming when they come across Yah's sword from his mouth? That is heavy, it is weighty. You has experienced it for yourself. At first you go, ah, until you got away and thought about it and had time out, and you fasted and you understood that it's exactly what you needed. Well, these are things that men, they either get it or they're going to be totally turned into what it is, the entity that they are. This is what the inauguration has done. It has unmasked literally the demonic world, who are screaming, they are burning vehicles, they are violently reacting because the earthquake has shook their world, and they've been outed.
They're all demons, huh? And all these demons, of course, are back on the earth to be judged, and they're going to be cast out into the bottomless pit.
Because of the plague of the hail, for the plague thereof was exceeding great. All of the works, we call it Yahweh's ledger. The works that he has done since he's uploaded information to the YouTube alone, there are not enough books in all of the world to contain his work, and it will continue. It doesn't finish. And what has finished, when people talk about the end of the world, it is so taken out of context, and so you have the fear factor. Oh, it's the end of the world. What is the world? Well, for a start, it is not the earth. The earth is this home, it's the footstool of God. This is why everything must be cast off the earth that offends him. The kingdom of God comes to the earth. And so everything that offends him, and you know exactly what it is, homosexuality, perversions of every kind, this bestiality, pedophilia, prostitution, abortion, everything that has been allowed, because the elephant in the room constructing the world, which is the geopolitical construct, it all comes crumbling down. The earthquake destroys every city, nation on the earth. Now you can bet with what has happened with Trump now in the seat, and Trump is Yah's man. He has that mantle that he is wearing given to him by Yah, because he's a gutsy man he's done it his way. Have you heard Yah singing, I did it my way, long before Trump has been elevated to this position? Yah has done it his way. He is rejected, and so if he's going to be rejected, whether he be nice or whether he be offensive, he chose to be offensive because he is the rock of offense. Excuse me.
That was quick.
And it talks about...
Makes people sneeze.
It talks about this rock on this stone, that you either fall upon it, like you did, Rez, you fell upon the rock, and you were broken.
Lucky to survive, son.
Yeah, you were broken. However, the ones that refused to fall upon the rock and become broken, which means humbled before God, then they will be crushed to powder. Just tell them the sight of this young Muslim guy driving the truck yesterday.
It was pathetic. There's this young fellow, maybe 16 years old, maybe less, and he was sitting in this truck that had been stacked with high explosives. And sitting in the cabin with him was 5 or 4 about 40-litre containers of high explosive, all wired up, ready to go. And he's happy. He's going off to get his virgins, right? So he drives off, and of course they're heading towards, absolute suicide. He's going to die, either if he gets to the point where he wants to be. And of course, these are heavily guarded areas that he was going on a highway in the daylight. If you're going to do it, why not do it at night? No, do it in the daylight. And next thing, he's blown up. The explosion was catastrophic. Well, we're talking a thing 100 metres wide, and this thing went off 100 metres high.
So straight to hell.
So he's went straight to hell.
Now, I'm going to make a video recording. I'll green screen it because I want Joel to do the graphics. Behind me is I read a very well written article from an American woman who is living in Egypt, and she is explaining what is behind the Women's March, because in Egypt they are recognising everything that has been going on that is sponsored by the Jew, Soros.
For Obama as well.
Yes.
Obama put the money into Egypt for the Arab Spring, which became the Muslim Brotherhood.
It's all the Muslim Brotherhood.
Now,
they are recognising what's been
going on. I want to see him hanging
Brotherhood.
off a yardarm somewhere.
Yeah. No mercy for
And
anyone.
of course Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton are all got to go.
There should be no mercy for these people. This is judgment.
And executed.
They have to be taken out. Think about paradise or the heavenly realm prior to this time Yah being on the earth, because heaven is where God is. Souls dying, they go into this, and they are given a glimpse of heaven. They do not go to heaven as the place where they will reside, but their soul is held in until they are reborn to the earth. Now, in the future, it will be paradise for those who have earned paradise, because the Christ is ruling and reigning with a rod of iron through his administrators, and Trump is the first, Trump and Putin. Now, Australia had better be taking note. We have Pauline Hanson here, who is Yah's pick to become Australia's Prime Minister in the future, and she is just lapping up everything that Donald Trump is doing, and we know taking notes because she was thinking the same way as he was before we wrote to her, and she received the package in June last year, as did Viktor Orban. These people know that these people are his choices. So it's his administration. He's not there doing all of it. He's the one the spirit behind it controlling what is going forward from this time on.
We'll be somewhere in our Mercedes Benz
Oh, yeah,
convertible sipping non-alcoholic pina coladas.
Oh dear. And there will come a time when there will be a celebration of the world.
Okay, bomb Israel, good on it.
When the world is celebrating the knowledge that Yah is here. He is here. This is our home.
Demarcation zone around Palestine, but we'll do it. Get Mad Dog there to say anyone flies over it or fires a rocket, destroy them on the spot.
Everybody else is a guest
That'll bring peace.
in Yah's home. And he chooses to share it with those who are made in his image. And that excludes all of the radical, perverted, Islamic, Jewish influence of Judaism that
Zionism is the point.
Adolf Hitler...
And all the nice meek Jews and Muslims will all become part of my following.
Yes.
So they'll become familiar, the Jews in particular become familiar with Isaiah 53. There's no other choice there. Read Matthew, just the first few lines will do. And then, of course, the Muslims, they'll be educated upwards to the Gospels and the proper prophecies, because the Quran was put together partially by Muhammad, who lost control of it when they murdered him. It was a Jewish woman that brought a peace offering to Muhammad and his family, and it was poison. So when they sat down for the feast, they then got poisoned, and so that's what killed Muhammad. But as I said the other day, just type in Nugus and King of Ethiopia and Muhammad, and you'll get the statement Muhammad made and convinced Nugus to become a follower of Jesus straight away by Muhammad's words saying that Jesus was indeed the soul of God the Father.
Alright, so it's all good for the good, as always.
And of course you've got the St. Catherine's, the letter from Muhammad to St. Catherine monks. Look that up. And that will convince, surely, the good Muslims that Muhammad was for Christianity because of what he said concerning Jesus. And of course that is not the Vatican, it is the Coptic Church, and of course that is the same church that's in Russia today.
The Eastern Orthodox churches, etc. Alright, with that we're going to get on with our day. Anything else, babe?
That's it.
That's it? Okay, later, Gators, and
Hasta la vista.